Welcome to my channel. If you are new to my channel, thank you for joining me this week. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I post. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the billionaire mindset, my journey to this mindset right now, things that have been keeping me that I think probably are keeping you back, and practical ways on how to develop this mindset. See you in the video. Alright, so last week I completed a 2-week series of some things to do in college if you want to win, and some things to not do to get the best experience in college. If you haven't watched that video, you can check it out right here. So I have mentioned my story in my introductory videos, and if you are new to my channel and you haven't watched that video, you can check it out here. Just to give some context on where I started in terms of the mindset that I've always been in versus the one that I know I had to develop in order to be able to be giving this content to you guys, right? So I grew up in a family of 5, 1 bedroom. We all slept on the same bed, all of it, and I never had a problem with it. It was never this case where I was suffering or anything, but that was all I knew. And so I have shared before as well that when I got exposed to different things, my reaction was absurd because this is not something that I, grew up knowing. And so I remember when I got the opportunity to come to US and I started to travel and go places by myself and experience things, I started to develop a different level of thinking automatically. It just happened. I just started to see things differently. I started to crave different experiences and just exploring and seeing different things. That's where my love for travel even started, because I haven't traveled to a lot of places in Jamaica, even though I've lived there for a while. But when I came to US and I started traveling, I started to explore and see different things that kind of opened my mind to different possibilities. And when I went back to Jamaica, it was difficult for me to keep the same mindset that I came over here with. It's just so difficult. I had developed such a different take on life that even when I went back to the place where I grew up in the same, small bedroom, whatever have you, I still had an elevated mind. So some things that I felt that were keeping me stifled was because I grew up poor. Like I said, I grew up in this space. It's all I knew, and that's what I thought about. It's difficult for you to imagine what it's like to be in a house with 10 bedroom if you only grew up in a house with 1. It's not automatic, right? These are things that you are able to do when you expose yourself to different places, different things, people, all of that. And so obviously if you grew up poor, thinking about, okay, this massive goal of becoming a billionaire, it doesn't seem in reach because that's not something that you know, right? And so it's almost as if you're making things up, you're being too much of a dreamer, right? The next reason why I think it has been difficult for me, or my process kind of took a lot longer, is because I had limiting beliefs and I had people around me putting their limitations on me as well. So when I was younger, I candidly remember I always used to tell my peers, my cousins, I wanted to be a pharmacist, and they would say, oh, don't do that. I said, I wanted to be a detective. They said, no, that's too risky. I said I wanted to do this. Oh, that's not going to make any money. And so every dream that I had, everything that I said I wanted to do was being backlashed by somebody's opinion who think it wouldn't work out for one reason or the other. And essentially what they were doing to me in that instance is putting their limitations on me. That caused me to develop my own limitations, and I was already having limitations because we all do, but that was my limitation meeting with their limitation. No, it's a lot of limitations which is pushing me down. So maybe for you, you're in a space where you don't have people supporting your dreams, supporting your career decisions, and just the things that you're doing in general in your life. And so you already have your doubts and you already have your insecurities that you are trying to fight. And then you have all of these other insecurities that are being pushed on you by, people in your life. And these may not be people who are enemies. This could be the people that you are surrounded by 24/7, who you guys have a mutual understanding and everything, but the vision that you have, that you see for yourself, they just do not see it. So I'm not saying it always has to be coming from a negative place. It can be from a place that, is supposed to be positive, but it's just not coming as a positive vibe. So, that's also one thing. The next thing is because I was skeptical, and maybe you are skeptical too. You hear people talking about, if you're from the islands or Caribbean countries, or probably just anywhere, you always hear about scammers and people scamming you into making them wealthy. Sometimes they come and they offer products and services and they haven't really had success in it, but they do it in a way, they market to you in a way that convinces you to say yes to them, and then you buy into this product. They're becoming millionaires and billionaires, and then you just lost their money, and you are not any further into becoming the wealthy person that they promised you would be. And so all of these things give skepticism, and especially if you are also around people who are too far on the realist spectrum, that also gives you a different level of skepticism. I mentioned the realist, and I also mentioned the dreamer. It's very important to have both of them. It's not good to be too far on either side, because if you're only dreaming and you're not doing anything and you're not being practical, you may make decisions that are not healthy for you in all of your being, holistically. That's spirituality, health, finances, mental health, relationships, all of it, right? As well as if you're trying to always be too practical all the while, you may miss out on opportunities to capitalize on. So you have to balance the realist and the dreaming, okay? So those are some reasons that were keeping me. I think maybe those are some reasons that you are being stuck into this poor mindset. And I want to stress that, because even if you grew up poor, there is no excuse to be poor in your mind once you understand that you are what you attract, and you have to develop your mind first to really gain true wealth, right? So I'm going to share some practical things that I think that I have done and that I think you can do to develop your mindset. The first thing is, I don't know what religious background you come from, if you believe in God, faith, or what have you, but for me, I had to pray and ask for direction. As I said, when I came over here, I was faced with two decisions. It's either I am going to allow the doubt to consume me that I would never be able to get to this point because I don't know what wealth really feels like, or am I going to believe that it's possible, ask for guidance from God above, and allow him to guide me through this? I made the second choice, and that has really helped to shift my mindset. That has helped to give me perspective on things, and that has helped me to hear the doubt and the fear talking in the background, right? The next thing that I would recommend is reading. And if you do not like to read, you can literally read 5 minutes a day. You're still getting the content. You're still being able to implement the things that you are reading, and you're still reading the book. What I used to do is I used to sit down and read off anything that I'm reading in one day. And sometimes I had the time for it. Other times it's because I know I'm not going to read the book again if I don't finish it. But being able to do something, if I can just read 5 minutes a day, because when I read that book, I sat down and I spent 5-10 hours reading that one book. I'm probably not going to read another book until the next month because I don't have the time like that every single week. But if I can read 5 minutes a day, I can read every single day. And habits are developed when you do it every single day. And reading helps you to develop your mind, your memory, all of the mental capacity of your brain, right? But it also helps you to see perspective from things you haven't experienced, from somebody who's already walked through it. It helps, they give you action items, you can participate in it, and you get to live in somebody's world for however long pages that you are reading that book. So I really do think reading is essential into developing your mindset, because you get to see, okay, this person did this worked for them. Okay, maybe I can try this, I can put my spin on, or I can just follow what works, right? So that's the perspective that you get from reading. If you do not like to read, you can listen to audiobooks, as well as one of my other favorites, which is listen to interviews on podcasts. Interviews on podcasts are a very good way of, you're still getting the content, you're getting the conversation, you're hearing people talking about different things, and you can listen to it on the go. You have something plugged in and you just listen to it. You don't have to sit in one space if that's your reason for not wanting to read a book. You have podcasts and interviews on every single topic that you can find in a book, and this is not not the case where you're just reading finance book because you want to make money. You have to develop yourself holistically, your relationships, your mental health, your physical health, and your spirituality, and just every single part that connects with you as a person, right? So it's listening to interviews and podcasts on all of these different areas, though some things may not be of interest to you like directly, but it helps you in the long run. Next thing is, leave drama alone. I'm not talking about gossiping, because that's not the only form of drama. Drama, it can be like anything that is not feeding you into progress. Anything that you keep consuming, things that are taken from you, taking away your time, your energy, your effort, your mental capacity. That's not good. That's not propelling you into what you want to do. And we only have so much brain power per day. We have to be able to use all of that capacity on something that is gonna propel you into greatness. It doesn't make sense otherwise. All right. The next thing that you need to do, and this is very important, is to manage your self-talk. Like I said, every stage in my life that I've leveled up from beginner to expert, one thing has been constant: doubt. It doesn't go away. I don't know for other people, but you constantly still feel this insecurity. Is this gonna work? Am I gonna be able to do this? Is this gonna be something that is successful? You always feel those thoughts. And so because that's gonna be there, which you cannot control that, you can control your response to it, which is the self-talk that you couple that with. So you want to make sure you're saying positive things to yourself at all times. You're feeding positive things into yourself at all times, because you have to speak to yourself. You have to command yourself, but make sure you do it in a way that's healthy, and that is propelling you into feeling better in yourself, right? So that's all for this video. I hope I was able to add some value to y'all. Please comment below and let me know what stood out to you. Also, please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I post, and share this with anyone who you think could benefit from this content. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye.